Now, as far as players that may take a visit or may take another visit, I do want to start off talking a tiny bit about Kiyan Anthony, obviously the son of Carmelo Anthony, a 4-star guard who might become a 5-star pretty soon. He might visit Syracuse again. He indicated he visited Syracuse last October officially. On3 has predicts that Syracuse will land Kiyan Anthony, so that is the good news. I know there was also talk about him visiting other schools like Ohio State and Indiana, but he might visit Syracuse again, which again is it feeds into that prediction that Syracuse and Kiyan Anthony could very much happen. I would say more probable than not. Am I going to guarantee Kiyan Anthony is coming to Syracuse? No, I can't do that. But I will say, in my opinion, based on everything that I am reading and that I have heard, I would say it is more probable than not he ends up at Syracuse. That's what I will say on that. Now, moving on, I teased this guy a few times here. Chris Cenac, I may have discussed him a while back here on the podcast, but he is 6'10", 5-star center from New Orleans. On3 actually ranks him as the number 6 overall player in the class. If that sounds familiar to you, that makes sense because Donnie Freeman is the number 6 overall player over on ESPN in the class of 2024. So a pair of number 6s potentially. Now, he is from New Orleans, a 5-star player, as I have said, 6'10" center. Syracuse gave him an offer back in early June. And when that offer came in, it was a late offer for someone who's really, really good. I was obviously excited. He's a really, really good player. So, of course, I want Syracuse to give him an offer. But at the same time, I think most people, including myself, were like, yeah, it just seems like one of those offers and you see if he's interested or not. But chances are he's probably looking elsewhere. And it's not because he's too good of a recruit. I mean, Syracuse just got a 5-star in Donnie Freeman. It's just because you're getting late in the race for him. It's late in the race. So it's kind of hard to compete with those schools that have already built those relationships with Chris Cenac. So I was skeptical. Sorry, I can't really speak. I was skeptical of Syracuse's chances of landing him. And to be honest with you, I still don't think they're going to land him. But at the same time, they could be scheduling a visit. There is buzz that Syracuse and Chris Cenac could be working on a potential visit. And if you can get the guy to visit campus, all of a sudden you're in the hunt. Once again, I'm getting this from Neil Adler at Inside the Loud House, so shout out to him. There could be a visit in the works between Syracuse and the 5-star big man, Chris Cenac. So you get that visit, all bets are off. All of a sudden, you are very much in the hunt. Right now, he's from New Orleans, Louisiana kid. LSU is considered the favorite, and then Houston is right behind them last time I checked. But hey, you never know if you can get the kid on campus to visit. Moving on to Josiah Sanders, a 24/7 sports composite 4-star point guard. He has official visits scheduled for Tennessee and Colorado. He might also visit Wisconsin, Minnesota, and UCLA. But Syracuse may also get a visit with Josiah Sanders, but it's going to be very competitive. He is from Colorado, so no surprise that Colorado is in the mix. Tennessee also has that official visit. He's a 4-star point guard. Again, it's about building relationships. I'm not even sure if Syracuse has offered him because I looked on several recruiting sites to see if Syracuse actually gave him an offer. I don't know if they actually have offered him, but if they get him on campus, I'm assuming they're going to offer him. He's good enough to be offered for what it's worth. So maybe Syracuse has a shot with Josiah Sanders, but it seems like if I were to rank in order of the 3 players that I just mentioned, Kiyan Anthony is probably the strongest chance to come to Syracuse, followed by Chris Cenac, which I would say is still probably a low probability, and then Josiah Sanders, which if they can't get him on an official visit or they can't get him on a visit, then I don't see it happening. But still, keep him on your radar. It's certainly possible that Syracuse and Josiah Sanders get a visit in order. Other potential visits that could happen soon include 4 stars Arcaden Lewis, Sean Above, and Keyshawn Tillery. Once again, all 4-star players. Overall, in the class of 2025, Syracuse has sent out a ton of offers. There seems to be mutual interest between Syracuse and these kids that they're offering, which is good. They already have someone in the boat, which is very nice on July 2nd, especially because it's Sadiq White, maybe the best defender in the class of 2025 and a composite 5-star recruit. So they already have him in the boat, which is fantastic. When I look at how this class might shake out, I already said that I think that Syracuse is going to get at least 3 players. I think you're looking at, well, they have Sadiq White, I think Kiyan Anthony, and then one more. So it could be Ryder Frost, Matthew Gilhool, Tyler Jackson. It could be 1 or it could be 2 or even all 3 of those guys. But my point being, I think if I were to make a comparison for this class, I would say it has the potential to be like the class of 2022, which had 6 recruits in it. But I believe that if Syracuse were to land a deep class, that it's not going to just be deep on quantity. It's going to be deep on quality. They're not just going to get 6 players, 4 of which will be 4 stars, but only 1 high-end 4-star, which was Judah Mintz. They might get a 5-star in Sadiq White and 3 other medium to high-end 4-star recruits like Tyler Jackson, like Kiyan Anthony, like a guy like Matthew Gilhool, maybe a lower end like a Ryder Frost, but Ryder Frost might not be a low-end 4-star recruit for long. He keeps rising in those rankings as we speak. So I'm pretty pleased with Syracuse basketball and their hunt for the next great Orange basketball players. Hopefully they can start getting some commitments soon, but at the very least, there's mutual interest. So I'm optimistic. It's July 2nd. They haven't played any games next season. They got someone in the boat. I am optimistic about Syracuse's 2025 recruiting class.